guys, John and Mark here with Mid-South Gaming. We've got our first video battle report coming up for you. It's going to be 2,000 points, Chaos Daemons versus Aurora Marines. First off, I've got my demons here. My list is pretty simple. I've got the Fate Weaver as my big HQ, two small heralds, one being the Skull Taker in a chariot, the other being the Mask, who is absent. She'll be here in just a minute. We've got 6 Fiends of Slaanesh, and then 2 squads of 4 Flamers filling out my elites. My troops are 12-man squads of Plague Bearers, 2 of those, one that has an icon, then a 13-girl squad of Slaanesh girls, and filling out my heavies is 2 big bad soul grinders, both with the big strength 10 shot. And over here, we've got Mark's army, the Aurora Marines. We'll have Mark show us what he's taken here.
Alright, first HQ is Pedro Cantor, and then we got 2 10-man squads of attack Marines with a Melta-gun and a Power Fist on the Sergeant. Then Stern Guard veterans, and they got Sarge with a Power Fist and Combi Melta, and then 4 Combi Plasmas. A Land Raider, which doesn't have the heavy bolter turret, but it is there. It's invisible. Got a Storm Talon with Skyhammer missiles, 2 Rhinos with Storm Bolters. I'm missing one on here. I forgot to bring it. Got a Land Raider with Twin Link Blast Cannons, Heavy Bolters, Ironclad Dreadnought, Chain Fists, 2 missiles, and Assault Grenade Launchers, and a Drop Pod, and then Devastator Squad. Over here with 2 Plasma Cannons, 2 Last Cannons, and Sergeant's got a Power Axe.
All right. Well, it should be a pretty good battle. We're going to be throwing down 6th edition, of course, as we're still getting used to it around here. We're doing Big Guns Never Tire, set in the Vanguard deployment. We're about to drop dice here in just a few moments. See you after turn 1. Alright guys, top of deployment. We're just getting started here. You can see my side is fairly barren, as a Daemon side should be. But Mark here decided to get set up in this corner. Mark, what's your strategy here?
Alright, well, we're doing Vanguard deployment. The objectives are, it's kind of hard to see, but there's one on the reverse side of this building, one on the reverse side of this building, and one under here. So since it's Big Guns Never Tire, Devastators are heavy support, so hopefully I can get into this building turn 1 and set them up to where they can wreak havoc and hold that objective. Stern Guard are going to get in the Land Raider. Pedro makes Stern Guard vets scoring. Going to try to go for this one. These guys are splitting up going over here. And then in reserve I got Ironclad Dreadnought in the Drop Pod, and of course the Flyer.
And of course I'm going to make him waste that drop by having him go first, so we'll see how this goes, if that was a good call or not. And I'll be dropping in the Fate Weaver, the 2 Soul Grinders, or if the god's willing, I will drop in the Fate Weaver, the 2 Soul Grinders, the 2 units of Flamers, the Chaos icon of the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. So that's if all goes well. We'll see after turn 1 and see how everything goes. Alright guys, bottom of turn 1. And this is kind of how I came in. We had some fun stuff happen with the big chicken over here, who happened to decide to mishap whenever trying to get onto these Devastators here. And instead of deep striking here, wound up here, Mark placed him over here. So, didn't go too well for me there, but the one thing I did get to do was miss a couple shots with Soul Grinders. BS3, you gotta love it, right? However, the Flamers did do some pretty good work onto 2 of his tanks here, dropping down glancing blows like crazy on both the Predator and the Land Raider. Good job, guys. Since Mark hasn't got to roll a dice yet, you'll hear from him as soon as this next turn is over. Alright guys, here we are, bottom of turn 1, and it is a massacre already. Mark, you want to run us through your turn 1, or, well, I guess, sorry, turn 2. Turn 2. This is the first time we've actually gotten to combat, though. Turn 2. How did your turn 2 go?
Freaking awesome. I brought the Storm Talon on, and Wingy guy was over here, so we shot him, got a wound off of him. And attack squad moved up in the Rhino up to this objective. Predator shot at these guys.
Oh, I should say also, our objectives now are Scatterfield, so +1 cover save. Scatterfield, +1 cover save.
That one's blow up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sabotage. This one's the Scatterfield. Yep. And so go ahead, over here.
Right, so anyway, Storm Talon shot at this guy, removed a wound. Dreadnought killed a Soul Grinder.
Right in this spot right here. This is where poor Mr. Soul Grinder was.
Stern Guard moved up in the Land Raider, jumped out, killed a group of ugly things. Right.
Flamers of Sinch.
Those guys.
Yep.
And Devastators moved up in the second story, and they moved up. This is immobilized. It screwed up bad. It's dead. They jumped out. That's what happened in my turn.
All right, then I got to go. I, of course, took to the skies with Mr. Fate Weaver here. Tried to lay some shots onto this thing. Couldn't do much, but I did at least get it stunned. And so now it's going to wind up somewhere in this vicinity over here in this next turn, so that's good and can only fire snapshots. Used my Chaos icon to the best possible amount and got my Skull Taker and my Plague Bearers dropped down right here around this point. Flamers of Sinch came up, and as you can see what happened to this Land Raider here, it wasn't pretty. I love the new rules of the Flamers. It's absolutely amazing. Then, knowing that I'm going to get charged by this thing anyway, send my Soul Grinder in to charge it. This thing has a field day, now having eaten not one, but 2 Soul Grinders.
Oh,
so,
and point out, the one is he shot a missile, not a whole point.
Yep. I haven't even scratched the paint on this thing. I haven't even got to swing at it yet. All shots have missed, plus I haven't even got to swing an attack on it yet. Well, that's all for turn 2. We'll be moving into turn 3 right now, and we'll see you right after that. Alright, so turn 3, put it a little bit more in the demon's favor. I liked it. Well, we'll start off with Mark's turn 3. How did you do on your turn?
I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I moved up here with the Rhino. They jumped out, got up here. Because these guys just failed to do anything to the Predator, it was alive, my turn 3. We backed up and shot them some.
Wasn't too effective, though.
Yeah,
they are Nurgle, after all.
They killed some guys, though. It was okay. They moved up here. Devastators moved up there. They just chilled. I forgot to move my stupid Dreadnought. Flyer was locked, so he had to go here. He is okay now, so he's going to be turning around to come kill stuff.
Alright.
And that was it for my turn 3.
Well, it was my turn that was a lot better this time around. I rolled the Flamers up behind his Predator and finished it off. Got that last hull point. Plague Bearers rushed the Rhino behind here and tried to take him down. In addition to that, the Mask was trying to pull these guys up off of the point to where they could be charged, but she didn't roll enough to bring them down. She did roll good enough to turn the Stern Guard veterans down here into a perfect teardrop formation for the Fate Weaver to nail a perfect flame shot on them, and then allowed the Fate Weaver and the Skull Taker to charge, resulting in the Fate Weaver's death. But you know, it's okay, acceptable losses, because I'm pretty sure this whole squad's going to be gone next turn. That could be overconfidence, but we'll see how it goes. And the only other thing that happened was my Flamer unit finally dropped over here. They're getting ready to do the showdown with this group over here. And we'll be back at the end of turn 4. Alright guys, we're on the bottom of turn 4. This one was pretty pivotal. We start with Mark again. How did your turn 4 go?
Not so hot. Storm Talon went and turned a little bit. That's all he could do. Dreadnought moved up. In the assault, Pedro and guy over there went at it, and
Pedro got kicked in the balls.
Well, yeah.
Well, not on your turn. Yeah, that was on my turn.
I kicked him, and then got a wound on him. He got a wound on me, and did some shooting at these guys, and then in his turn he assaulted me. These guys killed off a bunch of those dudes. We killed off 4. Or, yeah, we killed 3, and then 1 in the charge was killed by Overwatch, I think. And that was about it.
My turn went really well again. It really looks like it's starting to come more on the demon's side here. I used the mask to bring these guys off of their point, walked them back down here to be eligible to even be charged. So Plague Bearers went nuts over there. Mask is moving up. She may think about entering this combat, but we haven't really decided yet. Skull Taker, like I said, smacked down Pedro Cantor pretty hard, is pretty good. I really tried to get the Mask to walk the Dreadnought over to try to get into the Flame templates, but the one time that the Mask has failed her Purveying all game, it failed on the Walker, and Walker got to live this turn. We'll see how that goes. My Daemonettes came over here. These guys must have been doing too much drugs and sex because Slanesh is beating the shit out of them over here. So we'll see how it goes. We're heading into turn 5 right now. We'll see you then. Hey guys, this is the end of it here. We just rolled at the end of turn 5 to see if it goes. Mark got us a 2, so that means it ends. So we just counted it up. Let's have Mark go over his last turn, turn 5, real quick.
Shot at the Daemonettes and killed a few with the Devastators up there. Dreadnought tried to assault and didn't get there, so he got killed by all the stupid Flamers. And lost my Stern Guard in fight. Flyer flew over there, but Flyer killed another demon lady, didn't he?
Yep, yeah. Got another demon girl.
And
don't forget over here, this was the glorious. We had to look over this one for a minute because we forgot how "and they shall know no fear" works. I'll come around and show you the aftermath. Yeah. Plague Bearers swarmed around his little Marine sitting on the point here. They did get out of combat. Yeah, they killed enough to at least get him to fail a leadership check, in which we checked for sweeping advance. I didn't catch him, so he just ran smooth off the board.
Yeah, 8 Marines ran. Only killed 2, and they freaking ran.
They would have even rallied, but they were close enough off the board that they went flying.
So good.
My turn wound up being pretty simple. Like Mark said, I used the Flamers to take out the big Dreadnought, so I just moved the Chariot, the Skull Taker, he just moved in. Demon Girls came in. They assaulted these Marines, pulling them the rest of the way off the point. Me forgetting that we are playing Big Guns Never Tire, which meant that his heavies could have captured this point, but they were not close enough, luckily for me. And I think Mark kind of forgot that as well, so that was also a problem. But once we tallied it up, we both got Slay the Warlord for me killing Pedro and him killing the Fate Weaver. He got first blood, having killed the Soul Grinders at the very beginning. I got Line Breaker by being able to get my Plague Marines and my Daemonettes into his deployment zone. So with me getting 3 points off the objective, I got a total points of 7. Mark got a total points of 4, giving the Daemons just a kind of a minor victory, but a victory nonetheless. Well, thank you for watching, guys. We'll have more of them in the future.